Welcome, everyone, to the Conference Championship Game Series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you haven't had the chance, go check out our website, justsayingfootball.com, and follow us on Instagram at justsayingwjs for article and video updates. The AFC and NFC Championship games are here. We kick off Sunday. Fun fact about this game: they are both week 6 rematches. Let's get right into it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. Jack, what you got for us in that one?
Yeah, I'm so excited for this weekend. We've been waiting all this one more round here of the playoffs before we get to the Super Bowl. And all four of these teams include top 5 passing quarterbacks in terms of touchdowns this year. So I'm expecting big gunslinger weekend. And we kick it off, as you said right here, Packers hosting the Buccaneers. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, first time meeting in the playoffs. I'm very excited. I'm expecting a very big passing day, even though it should be a cold one.
Yeah, look, in this cold, we also got some great running backs. We got Fournette, we got Jones, we got Aaron Jones, the other guy, and we got Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon. Don't be surprised if they're running the ball a lot, but this is really good news for Tampa Bay. They just activated Vita Vea. He was out since week 5 after a broken ankle against the Bears. Now he is the nose tackle of this team. He's going to be coming after those halfback dives from Aaron Jones right up the middle, and he could create some problems for Aaron Rodgers in this running attack. It's going to be a fun game. These are 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and they're going to need to kind of show us why they're these Hall of Fame quarterbacks to work around 2 really, really stout defenses. And I think it's going to be hard for Brady to pass to Mike Evans, because he's going to have Jair Alexander, arguably right now one of the best cornerbacks in the league, if not the best, covering him. Last week only gave up -3 yards. He was so good.
Yeah,
he allowed negative yards.
Yeah, I mean, and we talk about the cornerback matchup. We've been talking about Jair Alexander all year. He was able to lock up that Rams offense just incredible last week. What I'm looking for this week, as I said, just these 2 offenses here. The Packers, the top scoring offense of the regular season. And just this year, 32 points last week. I really want to see just the fact that Aaron Rodgers needs to be able to take over this game. We've seen Brady do it too many times in the playoffs to a lot of quarterbacks. And whenever we debate games, we debate which one of these quarterbacks against whoever their opponent is, are they going to get the ball last with a chance to win the game? And I'm just interested to see who gets the ball last here, what kind of the weapons are utilized. You mentioned all these running backs, but Mike Evans, Davante Adams, I think that they both have big games this week against tough secondaries, and both of these offenses are top 5 in scoring. So I wouldn't be shocked if this game is high scoring, although the defenses are shut down.
Yeah, we're talking here about the defenses. These teams, again, they played in week 6, okay? And Tampa Bay won that 38-10. It was a dominated game by them. Rodgers did not throw a touchdown, didn't even throw over 175 yards, had 2 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. They were all over him. But what's interesting is Davante Adams was just coming back from injury in that game. Still had a solid game. Was like 6 for 61. He's now fully healthy. He has now found his stride since that game. He has just been absolutely dominating teams. If I'm this Tampa Bay defense, I'm looking at Shaq Barrett to really get after Rodgers. I'm looking at JBP to get after Rodgers. But more importantly, Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield Jr., I'm doubling Adams every single play. I'm the only guys that are going to be allowed to beat me this game are guys named not Davante Adams. So Allen Lazard, like last week, you got to step up for those 58-yard bombs. Marquez Van-Scantling, you got to not drop the ball on those deep bombs like you did last week. And that's how this Packers team will win. Utilize your other weapons. Let them focus on Adams. Let them try to get after Rodgers. Let Rodgers do what Rodgers does best, which is sit there and pick apart defenses. MVP caliber season. I believe he's going to win the MVP for sure. You wanted the NFC Championship game in Lambeau after last year's embarrassment up against the 49ers. Now you got it. So now show us, Rodgers, why you wanted it here and dominate this team that dominated you in week 6.
Absolutely. And we've always talked about how he bounces back from games, how Brady bounces back from games. We were able to see Aaron Rodgers struggle against this team, and it was one of the real games this year that was a wake-up call for him. He started going off after week 6, but Davante Adams will, as you said, Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield double covering Adams. It's going to be a tough job there. That will be their job, but he is only the second player ever right now with 120 catches, 19 touchdowns, and that's including playoffs. This Davante Adams is really having a special season right now. This is the season that he can really break out, and I'm very excited to see this matchup. I want to see how the Packers approach Brady. The best way to get him is pressure, and they have
sack him.
Core. They do.
They didn't sack him, dude. They did not sack him in week 6. Do you know how difficult it must be to not get after Brady like that, and then to ask your secondary to cover some of these playmakers? And he'll be out Antonio Brown this week, which is going to be good for the Packers. But let's not forget, he still has, Evans, as you mentioned. He still has Godwin. Scotty Miller has shown up at times. And Gronk. Rob Gronkowski, when they played in week 6, was the guy. 5 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. I will say this. I think that the leading receiver of the Buccaneers this weekend is going to be Gronk. I don't think that they have a cover linebacker to go after him. I think that will be the Tampa Bay's biggest mismatch. They may be looking at one of the Smith brothers to cover him, or Chris Barnes or Christian Kirksey, but I believe that those guys aren't the best in coverage, and that's going to allow Gronk to get open. And you're going to see 3rd and 7, Gronk's getting the ball. In the red zone, Gronk's getting the ball. He's going to be looking Gronk's way because he knows Gronk the most. He's been in these situations with him the most. He can trust him the most, and I expect him to actually have a really, really solid game up against this Packers defense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want the Packers to get pressure on him. I want to see how he's approached, and people can beat him with a good defensive line. The Packers here, they're going to have to rely on everybody. This is going to have to be a team effort, and the cold it's going to be a tough way to see. Is there going to be enough versatility? If there's going to be snow on the ground, are they going to have to rely on Brady's arm the whole night, the whole day? I mean, it's just going to be a very interesting story here. But I will take Tom Brady in this. I think that, there's a good protection right now. I think, like you said, he has the running backs. He has the weapons. I love Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs until I see this. I've seen the Giants beat him in the playoffs. It's good pass rush. They've seen them beat Brady in the playoffs with good pass rush. And people have used that formula. I just don't know if the Packers have the defensive line to take him down and stop the running game. If Brady can get a good running game, then you don't have to worry about AB being out. You can use Gronk on the short passes. Like you said, he was the guy last time, and he is Brady's guy. So I will take the Tampa Bay Bucks in this one.
I got to go opposite of you, man. I feel like Rodgers, the season and everything, and what happened in the NFC Championship game last year, you gotta trust that they did everything to get to this moment to make it to the Super Bowl. The way that he's been playing all year has just been spectacular. Last year was phenomenal, 23 for 36, 296 and 2 TDs up against one of the best defenses in the NFL. He has another challenge again, like you mentioned, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. But I think that they're ready for this. I just feel like this is the game where they finally get to the Super Bowl. They've been chasing that second one for Rodgers for so long. It's weird when you think Aaron Rodgers, one of the best of all time, won Super Bowl. That just doesn't sound right. That doesn't feel right. I think this is that week that they finally get it. And you mentioned that running attack. Ronald Jones ripped him apart. He had 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards on 23 carries. But that defense, especially since that Vikings game and this game, their run defense has improved as the season went on. We saw that when they played Derrick Henry, they were able to really shut him down well. They did a good job against Cam Akers from time to time. Other times, Cam Akers made a few moves, which you expect at this level of the NFL. I think this defense is ready, and they're going to be able to shut down playmakers. And I think that with Rodgers' ball in the hand, with Rodgers, the ball in his hand, and at any moment can be a touchdown. He can score in 30 seconds or he can score in 10 minutes. And I think that could be what's going to happen. I got to just trust Rodgers. I don't want him to win a Super Bowl because it's in my division. But,
first NFC Championship opportunity at home, and, he is going to have to try to take it. But I'm excited just to see whoever takes this. Both these guys, Rodgers deserves that extra Super Bowl, I got to say, even though I'm picking the Bucs.
No, I know. I 100% agree. And I think if Brady wins the 7th, he does it in 2 separate conferences and 2 separate teams. you can't. There's no naysayers now for the GOAT
Absolutely.
status if he goes on to win a Super Bowl. One question for you before we go on to our next game: who's going to have more passing touchdowns in this game, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?
Wow,
Passing
I
touchdowns. I want to
passing touch.
passing
That's
touchdowns.
no Brady playoff QB sneak. So I mean, I will go with Rodgers. I think that he's going to have to understand that he's going to have to keep the pace up with this Buccaneers offense. I would say that they both kind of have to keep up with each other. But we've seen Rodgers struggle against this team last time he played. I think that he has a good bounce back, and it's like four touchdowns to Brady's 3, something like that.
Nice. That's perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to the AFC Championship game. Mahomes is in. It is official. It came out Friday. He will be active. That changes the layout of this game a little bit. No Chad Henne, even though anything is possible.
Anything's possible.
Mahomes is going to be in. They're at full strength. What you got for us in this one? As the Bills, by the way, head to Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, in this one, we have a couple of great quarterbacks, couple great receivers. We got a couple of great coaches here on the different levels, and I'm very excited for this one, especially with Patrick Mahomes in. We were speaking about this all week. If he's in, what happens if the Bills win this game? Does it count if they beat this reigning championship team in the Kansas City Chiefs? Mahomes is back. He's ready to defend his title. He understands what's at stake. He's one game away from the Super Bowl. He's, as a starter, always been in this position right here in the AFC Championship. He's lost. He's won. And if he's in, I think it's going to be a big day for him, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I do want to see this Chiefs defense step up. But as I mentioned, Tyreek Hill, you're also wearing the Stefon Diggs jersey today. A huge fan of Stefon Diggs. Sean was coming out of Maryland, getting on the Vikings. Now he is on the Bills. And I got to ask you straight off the bat, who's going to have more yards? Is it going to be Tyreek Hill, the speedster from Kansas City, or is it going to be your guy, Stefon Diggs?
I think it's going to be Diggs, man. Just outright. I'll be upfront with that because I feel like when you have Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and possibility of Sammy Watkins playing in this game, I know people are probably like, Sammy Watkins, who cares about him? People slept on him. But if you look at that Super Bowl that he did and the playoffs that he had last year, he was just coming up in the most clutch of ways. And I feel like now this offense is kind of getting back to its full strength, getting Sammy Watkins back. There's a possibility of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's going to take away a little bit from Tyreek Hill, as Mahomes may do a couple dump-off passes or short and mediums to Watkins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I'm going to trust that Diggs is going to get more yards. And if you look at what he did last week, 106 yards, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith, there's some great cornerbacks, and he was still able to find ways because that's what Diggs does, okay? He digs deep, and he finds ways to win. All right, that's what he does for the team. That's why I love him. The thing that I'm worried about, though, in this game the most for the Bills is their run game. And I feel like I talk about run all the time because I love the run game. I used to play fullback when I did play football. So for me, it's all about the run game. But last week, only 32 yards on 16 carries. That's 2 yards per carry, if I did my math correctly. That is not good. That is not what you want to see, because if you need to drain the clock out and you can't run the ball effectively and you pass and you have to stop the clock for Mahomes, that's when things become to be really dangerous. Similar to Rodgers. This is an offense, both offenses for the most part, but mainly Mahomes in this offense, they can score in 30 seconds or they can score in 10 minutes. So you have to be able to run the ball effectively, utilize your time, and make sure that Mahomes is not on the field. And it's weird because the Chiefs need to do the exact same thing with Allen. Both of these players have played at MVP caliber seasons, not as good as Rodgers, but MVP caliber. I think this is going to be an offensive heavy matchup. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think you're going to see a lot of passing touchdowns. Yeah. This is going to be, out of these two games, I'm more excited for this game. Josh Allen in his third year has absolutely stepped up, answered the call. Diggs is his guy. Beasley's been great. John Brown's been great making these sideline snags. Kansas City defense, you got to step up in this game.
Oh, yeah. 100%. The defense, you're talking about the run game of the Bills and Kansas City, right now it's really not too good for them on the defense. We're looking at the fact that over this offseason last week, they were giving up 112 yards on the ground. You cannot do that this week. Obviously last week they were playing against Chubb, Kareem Hunt. Those guys are legit. But this week, if the Bills do get a run game, they're able to get a balanced offense, move this ball, continue to be balanced. they're going to make Kansas City adjust, and Kansas City is going to start running the ball, which makes them dangerous. But Kansas City is very dangerous when they're actually more imbalanced. If it's all on Mahomes, if it's all in the run game, that's really the games where they this season have had the big wins. But
Mhm.
as you mentioned, Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be there. I think that Kansas City is going to keep pace. But these two quarterbacks, honestly, this is one of those games that I want both of them throwing 45. But Kansas City's defense, I trust them a lot less than the way Buffalo's defense has been playing because, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, we've seen these guys come out of nowhere and
Big
it's just
plays.
been, making big plays. And we saw the defense come up last week. The game was over, but they got that 100-yard pick six. These guys are going into this game very motivated.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you're playing the Chiefs. They beat you in week 6, at home in Buffalo. It's a revenge game for you. And you're lucky when you have a guy like Diggs. He's been in a championship game with the Vikings in 2017. He knows, what's going to be at stake, how much is going to be happening with here. The Bills have also never won a Super Bowl. Some of the Vikings. There's a lot of factors going into this game. But what I think is going to be most interesting, if Clyde Edwards-Helaire plays, they ran the ball really, really well against the Bills last time. He had 26 carries, 161 yards. He didn't find the end zone, but because he was able to run the ball so well, Mahomes, you could make an argument, had one of his best games. He was 21 for 26, 226 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is phenomenal. That is a great
any quarterback any day.
Look, you only have 5 incompletions in a full 60-minute game. You're having one of the best games of your career. If the Chiefs operate their run game effectively along with their passing game, you can see a similar situation. All that being said, though, I'm taking Buffalo. I'm wearing the Diggs jersey. I believe that this is going to be Buffalo season. There are going to be so many broken tables. Starting tomorrow at, I believe, at like 9 a.m., you're going to be getting a bunch of Twitter accounts, a bunch of Instagrams of them just breaking tables. And then for the next 2 weeks after, it's just going to be fold-out tables are sold out everywhere in Buffalo and New York. All of them are going to be broken. I think that the Bills are ready. You got Diggs, you got Allen, you got the defense, you got the head coach, you got everything you need to win this game. Go out there and win it. Diggs, have a big game. Allen, continue running the ball well and passing the ball deep. You guys got this. They got this.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the Bills all offseason. I was hoping that they got Derrick Henry. I knew that something was going to go crazy, but instead they shocked the world and they got Stefon Diggs. And I was very, very excited for them. I think it's insane that they were able to make another playoff run after last year's wild card run. But here they are, and they are against the champions. And we said all week, if the Bills have to play Chad Henne, the Bills are going to take this game. They are too high powered. They're too balanced. Sean McDermott is a great coach, and I think with Patrick Mahomes in, I think this he has had less reps in practice this week, but it doesn't matter. I think that this is one of those games where he gets creative, and I know that he wants to go play Brady because Brady is 2-1 against him head to head, and I think that after Mahomes in his MVP season had his playoffs taken away from him, his Super Bowl, his first Super Bowl he could have had, and then he went and won last year. I think he wants to go back, play Brady in the biggest stage of them all, and prove that he's one of the best coming up. I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one. So many weapons. Andy Reid, Big Red. Look, Kansas City at home.
It's definitely hard to go against the Chiefs, trust me. But I feel like this offense is the one that has a really good chance to do it in the AFC. The Browns almost made a comeback last week. I thought they were about to win. Straight up. I just want to bring up a fun fact about this game. The Chiefs are the second team in NFL history to host 3 straight AFC Championship games. The other team to do that is the Philadelphia Eagles from 2002 to 04. You know who was the head coach at that time? Andy Reid. He is the only head coach. He is ready for the playoffs. He's prime. And you know what? I think one way for the Chiefs to win, open up the playbook, do all those fun passes that you like to do and those fun plays that really throw off everyone. But I'm taking the Bills in this one. One question for you. Who do you think is going to throw for more yards? Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? We're talking about these high-powered offenses. Who's going to be leading that passing stat category?
I like Josh Allen in this question. I really love this question because The way that he had to play last week, he had to throw 37 passes. You mentioned the run game wasn't there. We've now seen that in the playoffs. He has a reliable arm. He's able to throw almost 40 passes. He's going to be able to keep up with Mahomes this week. I think that Josh Allen does it. I really think that he pulls it off and he shows that he can go head to head with Pat Mahomes, and not just in an arm throwing contest, but in a fantastic execution of this offense. I think that he has the weapons. You mentioned Cole Beasley, Diggs, Brown. These guys are fantastic. I think Allen has the arm and reliability. Mahomes with the practice this week, as we said, he could rely a little more on the run game. So I think I'm going to go with Allen in that one. I want to ask you, though, a question as well with all this stuff coming up. You know, we have all of these insane things, you know, this Diggs and Hill, you know, but when you're looking at these teams, do you think that either of these teams can go up against the great quarterbacks we were talking about before? How do you feel about these young quarterbacks, even though Mahomes has been there, possibly going up against two of the guys who have been to the Super Bowls and won it before as well?
You know, that's a tough question for me. I will lean towards the future Hall of Famers, honestly. But the way that Rodgers is playing again, MVP caliber season, it felt like once they drafted Jordan Love, I texted you and I was like, he's going into one of these seasons where he's just coming in angry, and the NFL is going to need to pay for that, and the NFL has. Every team that's played him for the most part has had to suffer the wrath that is Aaron Rodgers. And same with Tom Brady. These are just guys that have been there. They're guys that they know it. Yes, Patrick Mahomes has, but there just feels like something that has to do with legacy when it comes to these older guys. You know, getting Rodgers that second one, getting Brady that seventh one. You know, at this point, they're really fighting for legacy. And I feel like because Josh Allen's so young, Patrick Mahomes already has a ring, an MVP, and a Super Bowl MVP. You know, that their legacy can still be established in the coming years, but these other guys, they want to just finish it. They want to just close that chapter of their legacy book and just say, I was one of the best. I won multiple Super Bowls, or I won more than 5 Super Bowls with 2 separate teams. I'm one of the best to ever do it. I can now close this chapter and be done with it. Because I feel like for some reason, if Rodgers doesn't get 2, similar with Brett Favre, it's like, how did you not get him to get 2? Exactly. They're so good. So if one of these guys makes it, I'll trust the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or I'll trust the Packers in the actual Super Bowl.
Yeah, I had to agree. You know, I just had to ask because it's a hard thing when you look at this last game we were speaking of. These two guys are trying to build their legacy, and as you said, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are way farther in the book, and they're trying to close a way farther chapter about their legacy. I'm excited for whatever combination, like you said earlier this week. Any combination of these quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl, we have the pleasure of watching that.
Oh yeah, all these games are going to be great. Anyone who makes it's going to be awesome. And I just want to say one thing about legacy. When you think about what happened with Drew Brees last week, throwing 3 interceptions, if he does retire, to retire on that note is so upsetting. And I feel like with Brady and Rodgers, who have more left in the tank, who will definitely be around next year.
Yeah,
you know, they want to end that on a super high note, and that won't be ended on a loss in the NFC Championship game or a loss in the Super Bowl. So absolutely got to trust what they can do, man. Yeah. But look, that's all the time that we have. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. 2 great championship games coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. So excited. Any of these quarterbacks, we're just having the pleasure to watch all of them. And thank you all for watching. Check us out. We got a Super Bowl show coming up soon, an award show coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
Always remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, Just Saying Football. Check us out, justsayingfootball.com. And always get updated on Instagram, Just Saying No GWJS, for all your updates for more Jack and Sean.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love us. Enjoy the games.
Enjoy the games.